Wow, such a tremendous aviation accident. Hello my friends and welcome. Today we're going to speak about the crash of Bombardier CRJ-200 which happened a couple days ago in Kathmandu Airport. I was waiting for a review from the Blanca Lawyer channel, but he is not coming out with it, so we're gonna speak about it on my channel. This is the registration of the airplane on November Alpha Mike Echo. The airplane was made in 2003 and there were 19 persons on board. One somehow survived, the captain of the airplane. He was delivered to the hospital, but we're gonna speak about it a little later. So the crash happened during the takeoff of the airplane from the runway 02 at Kathmandu Airport, Nepal. The aircraft crashed 200 meters right of the center line and burst into flames. The Kathmandu Rescue Coordination Center reported that 18 people were found dead and only captain is reported to have survived the accident. He was delivered to the intensive care, so doctors are now fighting for his life. Hopefully he survives this aviation accident and may explain what actually happened. It's crucial that we have the eyewitness of this event, especially a captain who might tell a lot. By the way, my friends, I started my flying in UTR Ukraine Airlines from flying ATR, but we also had those particular airplanes in our fleet, CRJ-200. So who were those 18 people who lost their lives? One co-pilot and 17 of the technical personnel. The aircraft was flying to Pokhara for the maintenance, for the big maintenance C-check. So the airplane should have stayed in a place for a few days. The Aviation Herald website also shares the information about this tragic aviation accident, and the weather was quite good by the time of the air crash. Again, let's watch this video. So immediately after airborne, the airplane started to roll to the right. As you may see, the landing gear has already been retracted at this low altitude. Some say that pilot wanted to show off, but he was in lack of the energy to maneuver the airplane, and later on it stalled towards the ground. And we may see that there was no engine failure or engine surge. Usually you have some sort of the smoke if you have the problems with the engine. What's the difference with this fuselage mounted engines? That in case you lose the single engine, you'll not have this big moment which you need to counteract as on the standard airplanes like Boeing 737, Airbus, or for example like in this Qatar Airways Dreamliner. I think it's Dreamliner. So then you have the engines mounted under the wings. You have this moment which you need to compensate because yes, in case you have the engine failure, for example this one, it creates the drag, so you need to pull the pedal to move your rudder and also counteract with your ailerons, because the rudder and the aileron movements are interconnected. On the modern day airplanes, this feature is automatic actually. Computer understands that the airplane has the engine failure and it compensates that moment. But for example on Boeing 737 you still need to compensate it. So the bank angle over here, well, I think it's around 70 degrees, something like that. So if you have this bank angle, the stall speed gradually increases. So here we have the basic table valid for any sort of the airplane or even glider. The relation between the load factor and the bank angle. So at 60 degrees of the bank you'll experience 2 Gs. And in its turn it will lead to increasement of the stall speed by 1.4, so by 40%. So with the higher bank you'll have the higher stall speeds, which is unsafe, especially when you just take off. But there is the variant to compensate all of that, to have enough speed or enough energy, potential energy if you're flying very high, or kinetic energy, basically speed. But then the aircraft just takes off, it doesn't have really that much energy. And I was flying like that for quite a long time. It looks like the Hollywood movie or something, and I think that pilots made it down again to the normal bank angle, but the aircraft already lost the speed. And the airspeed is crucial. And after that it just hit the ground and burst into flames. And this is the image from the CCTV camera. You may see how it goes down, but it was filmed a little later than the previous video. On this screenshot you may see that the bank is not really that high, and that aggressive bank at first was filmed at the previous video, but here we may see that the aircraft is descending. However, it continued to increase the bank after it, right before the impact. So this is the other screenshot several milliseconds after. You may see here the aircraft already impacts the ground. So this is the aircraft, and the bank increased again. Well, it's hard to say from this perspective, but it could be again 70 degrees or something like that. The right hand wing absorbed some of the energy of the impact. That is why probably captain was saved. So the search and rescue team was on time, but what they could do is to save a captain, nothing more. Because the airplane turned to the fireball. Sorry guys, I had to blur the image of the captain because of the YouTube restrictions. By that time he was conscious, so I hope he will tell the story. But what they might help to find are the black boxes, so-called black boxes, or the flight data recorder together with cockpit voice recorder. And here's the part of the engine which was found. The part of the airplane you may see completely destroyed. Probably, yes, the cockpit is separated. That's why the captain was saved. And this is the approximate final spot of the airplane. So the airplane was taken off from this runway, somehow crashed right from it. So there could be two variants from what I may see. Pilots decided to show off because it was just a ferry flight, mainly, no passengers on board. So they decided to make a big bang very close to the ground and to fly away, performing the visual departure, something like that. Or there was definitely the problem with the aircraft control system. I don't think that it was the engine failure which caused this dramatic moment. No, on those aircraft types it's just not possible. About the Saurya Airlines, well, we are on the airline website and they have CRJ-200 over here. And they serve 5 domestic destinations, and that's it. So it's the domestic airline. They operate CRJ-200. And from what I understand, they have just 3 of those airplanes, Bombardier CRJ-200. About the airplane itself, well, it was flying for a very long time, since 2003. At first starting its career in the United States of America, changing 3 airlines out there. Then Arik Air Nigeria, South Africa, again the United States of America, and finally Nepal. The most flights the airplane done for the South Africa Express since 2008 till 2017. Later on it went back to the United States and just in a couple of months was transferred to Nepal. As you see, it got its original registration back, November 695 Bravo Romeo. Maybe this move was connected with some of the airplane insurance things. So guys, I'll monitor the situation about the case, and I already speculated a little before we found the flight data recorder that it could be some of the technical issues, malfunctions, or the pilot error. Why do I think that it could be a pilot show-off also? Yes, there is the version like that too, because there were already cases with that. It is, for example, the ferry flight of the Cargolux Boeing 747, yes, the airline where Captain Joe is flying, and here we go with a huge bang right after departure. Then the airplane had no energy, nothing. Yes, it has the powerful engines and everything, but still it's a very, very risky maneuver. From what I understood after this video was shared in internet, some of the people in the airline connected to the flight operations lost their positions. It should have been done elsewhere because the aircraft in the skies is also like a huge shell full of fuel. And it's just a miracle that in Nepal case no one was hurt on the ground, so it's better to fly the airplane as safe as possible and not show off in front of the crowds. The aerobatic pilots do it, not the standard pilots, and only during some of the air shows or the special areas. So guys, that's all I want to say about the case. See ya.